in the 21st century, where the social contract has been broken between organisations and individuals, it's now found its space. I mean, greater minds than mine, like Charles Handy, sort of forecasted this years ago. The Empty Raincoat he wrote, and the notion of portfolio careers and so on. But the philosophy of it is that organisations really are a coalition of micro-businesses, particularly at the top. And what I do is that I help these micro-businesses understand themselves, their own personal strategy, the strategy of the businesses that they're working with, and how they can have an adult relationship, a win-win relationship in that context.
Tell me a little bit about how that might be relevant for a senior lawyer.
The reason it's relevant is that a senior lawyer is another micro business working in the organisation, right? And they're becoming more and more important. Ever since the Legal Services Act last October, the legal sector has reached a major inflection point. So lawyers are their role is important, but they're even now more important than they ever were because of the crash and risk and compliance, etc. So the reason this is relevant is that lawyers can be helped to see themselves operate within a business in a completely different way than they might have done previously. And as a whole, there's a number of things that we can do to get them to reframe their relationships, first of all with themselves and then with the business. And they can be more fulfilled and businesses can be more successful with that reframing.
That's great, and I can see immediately how that advantages in-house lawyers, particularly in senior corporate roles. How do you explain the benefit of that to the person who might be writing the cheque, the HR professional, the CFO, the CEO? What's in it for them?
Well, for all of those players, they're looking at return on investment, and they want to see an increase in the top line in terms of revenue and a decrease in costs, so they've got higher profitability and value. I mean, that's really what they're about. So my view is that these processes, if they can add 10, 15, 20, 30% increase in performance, in a lawyer that can have a direct impact on the business, then the ROI speaks for itself. We all leave part of ourselves to a greater or lesser extent at reception. And the whole point about these processes is to bring in more of your individuality, more of your personality into the business. And things have changed in the 21st century. Businesses have few unique selling propositions, when in fact individuals, they're 1 over 7 billion. Right? They are actually unique and organizations are not. So the value of this process is to help a lawyer to understand the unique contribution he or she can make to the business.
Ciarán, I'm interested to understand how you see roles developing over the next few years in business.
I think roles will change substantially over the next few years because of the impact of the crash. I think the crash, the financial crash, has been a milestone in terms of the social contract between employers and employees. Frankly, I think that contract is pretty much dead. And that means that the expectation of individuals within businesses will change. So I think everybody, particularly senior people, but everybody within a business is a micro business, and they are, and careers are businesses, and jobs are joint ventures. So everything is a mini joint venture, it seems to me. And I think that's how people actually play it out, even though they may not say that all the time. So the impact on that on roles is, how do you manage relationships in that essentially hugely changed environment? I think, controversially, we're going to see the end of HR. I think HR won't be around for much longer, because the fudge, it seems to me, lies in the fact that the chief executive is and should be the person who is the HR director. They are meant to create an environment in which people do their best work. And I think you'll have chiefs of staff and not HR directors. I think compliance and health and safety will go to accounting and legal. And I think you'll have a chief of staff helping the CEO with his or her job in managing people. I think the GC will become very, very important in not just risk management and compliance, but also taking calculated risks in a new environment. So I think we'll be paying much, much more attention to individual needs. How can we understand people better so that we can get more from them and in return give them more? I think just it would be much more an adult win-win relationship, or that's my hope.
Brilliant. Thank you, Ciarán. That's fantastic.
Thank you.